The Pentagon reportedly considering sending another 10,000 troops to the Middle East as the president has extended the pause on striking Iranian energy facilities.
Let's go now to Mike Tobin, who is live in Tel Aviv as the Israeli army continues its bombing of Iranian military targets. Hi, Mike.
Good morning, Carly. Good morning, Todd. Yeah, things are moving fast out here. It looks like a diplomatic solution is still active, but pushed down the road a bit. The information you're talking about comes from the Wall Street Journal that the Pentagon is weighing sending an additional 10,000 troops to the region. That's in addition to the 1,500 mobilized from the 82nd Airborne. And it's not clear which division the troops would be drawn from. This as the president again extends the deadline for Iran to allow shipping through the Strait of Hormuz or face destruction of the power grid. The president posted on Truth Social, talks are ongoing, and despite erroneous statements to the contrary by the fake news media and others, they're going very well. The president told the hosts of the Five Iran allowed 10 ships through the strait as a gift.
And so I gave them a 10-day period. They asked for 7. You're going to say, oh, Trump's a terrible negotiator. They asked for 7, and I said, I'm going to give you 10 because they gave me ships.
But they're talking to us because they've got a disaster in their hands. They're defeated. They can't make a comeback. They now have a chance to make a deal, but that's up to them.
Israel's not letting up with airstrikes over Iran. The IDF says they're operating relentlessly against the regime's ballistic missile array. Overnight, the IDF claims their aircraft struck at the primary facility for production of missiles, and sea mines are still striking at missile launchers when they become available and missile storage units. The missile fire into Israel is constant. Mostly what we get are the cluster bombs that deliver these bomblets with 10 pounds of explosives in each of them. On Tuesday, we saw a missile come into the Tel Aviv area with a 220-pound explosive warheads, and last Sunday it was 2 missiles struck the Negev, very near the Negev nuclear research facility, each of them with 1,000-pound warheads in them. Carly and Todd.
All right, Mike Tobin live for us in Tel Aviv. Mike, thank you. Let's bring in national security and military analyst and international relations expert, Dr. Rebecca Grant. Dr. Grant, thank you so much for joining us. So the president has pushed the deadline back 10 days to reopen the Strait of Hormuz while these negotiations get underway. But at the same time, there is this reporting that the Pentagon is considering sending more troops into the region in what is described as the troops being able to deliver a final blow. So with all of that in mind, where do you think things stand right now?
Well, I'll tell you, 10,000 additional troops is not an invasion force. This is more strategic pressure against Iran's few remaining assets, whether that's Karj Island or the control of the strait. So those troops working within the joint force are going to give President Trump more options. And that's what Iran needs to see. They need to see that President Trump is ready, air, land, and sea, to put whatever pressure is necessary to get them to comply.
That's right. It's what we talk about all the time with his strategy of carrot and the stick. We'll negotiate, but at the same time, there's lingering in the background the possibility of a larger military campaign on the horizon. Let's take a moment, Dr. Grant, to listen to the moment the president revealed what Iran's present to the United States was. Watch this.
They say, we will give you a present. And the present was 8 ships. We're going to give you 8 ships. And they actually made it 10. And that proved to me that we're dealing with the right people. But then they didn't want to say that publicly. And I said, well, you should say it publicly. And now they are saying it publicly.
What do you make of this?
Well, you know, a few dozen ships have gone through the strait with various destinations, including India and China. So I think President Trump here is working on the negotiating channel. He said, let some ships through. Iran said, OK, we can do this. And this proves that there is a coherent command and control from the negotiating team down to the remnants of the IRGC. He's seeing if there's a workable structure in Iran that could uphold any agreement that they may reach and have the Strait of Hormuz free of Iranian threats so the shippers will go ahead and put their cargoes through.
Also, Dr. Grant, Secretary of State Marco Rubio was in France this morning for meetings with G7 officials. And obviously, the president has made it very clear that he is deeply disappointed by Europe's lack of cooperation when it comes to reopening the Strait of Hormuz and said that it's something that he will never forget. So what's your reaction to this and where our relationship with Europe stands, and also how our adversaries are viewing Europe in light of the fact that they were not willing to help out?
Oh, I love Secretary Rubio, and I guarantee you Rubio is going to lay into these particular allies. Japan, so much of the oil that comes through Hormuz goes in that direction. All these countries have P-8 radar planes, frigates, Navy vessels, missile defense capabilities, and they can be the core of an international stabilization maritime force in the Strait of Hormuz. And wow, it is past time for these G7 allies of ours to step up.
Yeah, and the president said yesterday during his cabinet meeting, he noted that the German chancellor said this is not our war, and then went on to say, well, the war in Europe between Russia and Ukraine, also not our war, but we were willing to help out. So a notable point there made by the president. Dr. Grant, thank you so much for joining us.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.